I am once again here with some last minute sewing for travel. I know that I have been talking a lot about how I am going to start sewing in a way that is more relaxing and that I'm not going to set projects that are working under time pressure, and that I'm not gonna panic sew when I have travel coming up, because instead I'm going to pick up practices of slow sewing, etc., etc. And I still feel like that's where I want to end up. But okay, I actually have no other choice but to do a little bit of panic sewing. That's not true. I feel like that's what I do. I like make it seem like this is necessary. None of this is necessary. These are things I want to make because I'm going on a trip and I want to look cute. But like none of this is. I have clothes. I made this dress. Like, I have dresses. Like I haven't. Anyways, okay, I understand that. That being said, a couple weeks ago, I was going to get started. So I was going to get started early. So I was like, I'm still going to travel sew, but I'm going to start early so it doesn't feel like panic sew. And then I got a concussion, which is why I'm wearing these sunglasses, right? Because even though it's been a few weeks, I still really can't handle the light. Like it's like the number one trigger for my headaches. But anyways, I am going to Miami and I'm going to New York in basically, let's call it a week and a half. I have a week and a half because I'm leaving in a week and a half and I won't have all my sewing stuff. So that's the amount of time that I have to get these looks done. Also, if we haven't met, I'm Vale. I make videos sometimes about sewing, sometimes about trying to sew, and sometimes about living in Colombia. I moved here 6 years ago, but recently moved to the countryside. So it's something that I'm sharing a little bit about on my channel. If that's something that interests you, go ahead and subscribe. What are we gonna make? No, even more important, what are we making things for? Okay, so my husband's brother is getting married, and there's gonna be a cute little New York weekend. So definitely that's probably the one that I'm the most sort of nervous about, because obviously it's like a big family weekend, but also because I'm not really sure what the weather is going to be like. I already sorted my wedding guest dress because I was like, I'm not going to be making that. Like, I'm not putting that up to chance. That's settled. This is more for like the little outfits here and there. Also, my sister and my friends are there, so we're probably going to go out. So I definitely want to make like one going out outfit, and then one something that I can wear maybe when we go out with the like siblings and cousins like before the wedding. So something like cute like that. And then I don't know, I might want to make something else, but I'll tell you about that in a second. But New York is one part of this trip. The other part of this trip is I'm going to be in Miami. Basically because I have to go to a work conference. So I'm going to go to Miami, spend some time there with my mom, and then go do my work stuff and then come back. But the interesting and exciting part is that when I come back from my little conference, I will be there at the same time. My sister's going to be there. So my sister, my mom, and I are going to be in Miami, and we're going to go see Maná. Okay, we're going to, yeah. So if you're like, if you know, you know. Okay, so Maná, it's like a really big deal. We've never seen them live. Obviously, we've, been surrounded by them our whole lives, but it's going to be really, really special. And obviously I want to make something for that. So those are really the two buckets. One of them is like my Maná look, right? Like what am I going to wear to that concert? And then that's really all I'm making for that leg of the trip. Then, more importantly, the New York trip. Okay, now let's talk about what it is that I'm actually making and the fabric that I'm going to be using. So I took like the cutest little notes on my little planner. Oh my God, I love my little Habonichi. This is like, she's my girl. We're going to start with the Maná look, obviously. And for that one, I have the perfect fabric. Oh, tell me that this is not like, this is why it's like if you know, you know, because like Maná is like rocker vibes, but like Latino, but also like in my mind, very of the 90s. So I'm like, I need to be like, I want to feel like I'm from the 90s, and nothing really spoke to me except for this like upholstery fabric. And so I'm going to be making a cute little mini dress and then an off-the-shoulder. I love an off-the-shoulder moment. If you've been here, I love an off-the-shoulder moment. So I'm making an off-the-shoulder top with a little dress. I'm going to put a picture here actually of several versions of this I've made. This is one of my go-to formulas. I'll like switch around how I do the like top, but I've made this several times. I have a video making the top and I have another video making the skirt several times over. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna accessorize it with like maybe this bandana but around my neck and like gold jewelry or silver jewelry. And then boots. It's gonna be so cute. But it's also Miami, so it's gonna be a mini skirt and a little tight top. So even though it's upholstery fabric, hopefully it won't be too hot. But I'm just so obsessed with this idea. And I actually had this fabric from a different project that I really just fucked up. I don't know why I got this fabric to begin with, and then I tried to make like a wrap skirt with it, and it was like the first pattern I'd ever used. I really like, you could see my attempts at like making a hem here, and I didn't even try to like zigzag. I don't know what to tell you. And so I was just like, I'm obviously not throwing this away. This is really cute fabric, so I saved it, and it's just been sitting in my pile for years. Or like not years, but you know what I mean, a long time. And so now we're gonna use it and we're gonna put it toward this very special outfit with my mom and my sister for an event with my mom and my sister. Okay, so that's the Miami part done and settled. That's the only thing we're gonna be sewing for Miami. Here is like where we start to enter the territory of delusion. And I do believe in delusion. I believe like having a little delusion is really the difference between having a good life and not having a good life. And that's something I need to maybe flesh out in a video essay, but delusion is important. Okay, so I want to make a little mini dress. I actually just had a video, I just put up a video on making this sort of modified Clara dress, the Clara pattern by Silver Saga specifically. I love that pattern. And so I hacked it a little bit. I just made the sleeve shorter and I made it just a twinge a little more off the shoulder by playing around with the sleeve. And it's super cute. I wear that dress all the time. And I made it a mini. That's another way I kind of hacked it. And so I'm loving that dress so much. I'm like, I just want to make another one. And I want to do it in a fabric that maybe is a little more appropriate for the weather in New York. But I do want it to be a mini off the shoulder and I can wear a coat on top or something. I do have this fabric that's like stripes. It's not the heaviest, which I also like because, you know, you do kind of want some movement in that dress, but it does have some body to it, which again, I like for the occasion. And I like that also because I use the pattern for these sleeves. So this is actually the pattern I hacked onto that dress in that video. And I love this sleeve, but it needs a little structure. So I like this for that. So I'm gonna make that a little mini because I'm like, okay, I'll wear that with, I'm gonna put the inspo picture here, but like with just tights, you know, like black tights, mini, and then boots, accessories, and then a coat, like cute. If it's cold, a coat, if no coat, if it's not cold, and it's one of those weird April nights where it's like New York is on fire because it's hot and everybody's out here like losing their minds, then I could just take the tights off and wear the boots and the dress and like call it a cute little night, maybe take a scarf with me, you know. So there's options with this, but it's not too fancy. So I like that too, because it's not a fancy little outing that we're gonna do. It's gonna be like Chinatown, like it'll be fun. So I want this to be not too fancy, but you know, cute. So this one I'm actually not worried about. I'm like, that I'm gonna knock out, and that's one that I'm definitely like, I'm starting with after my Maná look, because this is getting done no matter what before I leave. Again, because it is for a specific outing that I don't really know what else to wear. Okay, next up is this fabric. Originally, I kind of wanted to do this. I'm like, I'm concussion brain. I was like, oh, I'll do this for the night out. I'm like, I'm not gonna wear like anything that is even resembling this level of white, like to anything like an outing where there's somebody who's gonna be a bride, okay? And maybe it's not that big a deal, but I do think it's that serious and I do think it's that deep. So I won't be doing that. Instead, I'm gonna make something really cute to go out with my friends. We're not doing anything crazy. We're probably just gonna go to dinner and something. I don't know, actually, I haven't bought my ticket out of New York, so I'm not sure how long I'm gonna stay. If I just stay until like the Sunday after the festivities are done and I leave like Monday morning, then I really would only see my sister and my friends that Sunday. So then maybe we would do something like dinner and a movie or something. That'd be fun. And if I do stay a little bit longer, like I stay until Tuesday, let's say, then I could potentially organize something more chill on Monday. But then Sunday, maybe I can hit up my best friend and we can go watch a Broadway show, because we always like to do that when I'm in town. So maybe I'm gonna do that too. I'm like talking myself into it. If we do that though, and if we do end up going to Broadway, because in my mind I'm like, I wanna go to Broadway again. Like I love it. Every time I go to New York, I'm like, I need to go. anyway, New York to me, Broadway. And I was thinking this could be a really cute little dress, like a little cute moment off the shoulder moment, shocking, florals for spring, but it could be super, super cute. Now for this, I'm still kind of in between what pattern to use. I do have the Caitlin Naughton picnic set pattern, and that's printed out and like ready. And I've seen people hack that like a little bit to make it off the shoulder. And I've made that dress before for my sister. She just loves it. It's like the cutest little, like, and it comes with the shorts, but I wouldn't make the shorts. I just make the dress version. It's just very flouncy. It's perfect. You wear that with tights. Like, it's so cute. So I was thinking that like could be really cute. But then there's also another pattern-ish. It's like a pattern-ish that is by, I think it's like Veronica Tucker. And it's free, so I like, that's linked. And it just kind of walks you through how to make an off the shoulder kind of dress too. And that one is long sleeves, which is kind of cute. So I don't know, maybe I'm going to use that one, but this would be kind of like down the line a little bit, so I can still make decisions. The good thing about using the picnic set pattern is that like I've used it before, and that's always nice. Although the other one looks pretty simple, so I don't know. Okay, so that's probably gonna get made. If it doesn't get made, my life doesn't fall apart into pieces because I don't even know what I'm gonna wear this to. So just kind of wanted to take it for New York because just in case. So we're gonna kick off with the Maná top and dress. Let's talk about our formulas, patterns, etc. For the tiered skirt, as I mentioned, I have a video about how to make this. This is my formula. I don't even know how I got it at this point because I don't remember, but I guard this with my life, okay? I have like my little formula for my top tier, my bottom tier. The bottom tier, I will just extend as much as I want the skirt to be. So I've made this long, etc. I'm going to be making it short today. So I'm going to use a top tier that is 90 centimeters wide, 29 centimeters long, and the bottom is going to be 130 centimeters wide and about 22 centimeters tall. So the bottom tier is shorter. I like to do this little effect. It's part of the video that is more like similar to the Hill House finish, which I like, which is just you finish the bottom tier and you hem it, and then you gather it and attach it to the front. So that gives it like a little something special I have found. It's like a little secret ingredient. So we're gonna do that. I actually already measured out the fabric. I was able to find enough fabric to make the skirt. That's what I was worried about. And so I've already chalked that out and I just have to cut it out. That's ready. And then for the top, I'm gonna be using a Frankenstein pattern. And let's start with the front. I'm gonna use a very basic princess seam in the front. I ended up using Caitlin Naughton's pattern for the daily dress. If you've used that pattern, that was a perfect princess seam on me. Great job, great pattern. And so I've just been using that, and I've been using it every time I need a princess seam bodice. So here I went ahead and just lengthened it last time I used it. I think I'll probably shorten it now again because I don't need to be that long. And then I'm going to use an elasticated back, okay? And the elasticated back is from Lydia Naomi. This is how she has like a hack on her pattern, like on her channel, and she also has like a full length video on how to do this. So I won't go into it because she's definitely a really great sewing teacher. And it's just basically, this is the back. I'm gonna lengthen it a little bit to match the front, but you basically cut this on the fold and then it turns into an elasticated back. You attach it to your garment and voila, you didn't have to put in a zipper. And then as I mentioned, I'm going to do an off the shoulder little loop-de-doop. I've done this before. I made a gala dress that is talk of the town, and that has a little top part that gives it that sort of like, I think it's called like Bardot, like sort of look. And I was worried when I made that dress that it wouldn't look good in like a stiffer fabric because I made it out of organza, but it ended up looking great. A little stiffer because I made it shorter, but in a way that was really nice. So I'm going to do that again this time and just use the same measurement as I did there. And yeah, so I'm not going to show you how to construct all of these things because I have several other videos where I did construct a lot of these things, and also we're running short on time. So I'll show you this when it is maybe like when I finish the skirt, and then when I finish the bodice, and then when I attach the top and then show you the end result. Okay, I finished the skirt. Let me show you. Now it's time to construct the bodice, and I feel like I always forget how to do this. Like I need to make notes. I need to write notes somewhere. But I do have lining because even though it's a thick fabric, it's not the most comfortable fabric. And then when you do the elasticated back, you do need to line that part anyway. You need like a fold over. I didn't want to use the same, well, I didn't have enough fabric. So I'm just using a little black fabric. I'm going to give everything a good press. This is the part that I can't remember quite so well, and it's how to line the bodice. I'm pretty sure that actually what I need to do is make the bodice lining separate to the front bodice and then kind of put them together so that it's all enclosed and so that it's comfortable. Yeah, that's what I have to do. And I always do this wrong because what I always do instead is I attach the lining to each piece, where I'll just sort of be like, oh, this is now one piece, and then I'll attach the whole thing as normal. It just creates bulk. I don't know, like, I also don't think I do it right. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna do this the correct way this time. I'm gonna do the bodice separate in the lining, and then the top, like the good fabric separate, and then join it. And it's gonna look super cute. And I'll show you when it's done. I finished the look for the Maná concert, which is exciting because that's done now. So let me show you, and let's see what you think. I have a couple of like, I think that should be good. Can you see this? I don't know why I angled the camera this way. Hold on. My studio is such a mess. Okay, maybe this is better. So you see it's like the bodice piece, the little sleeve part. It looks super cute. My one question is whether I should leave it as a mini skirt type of vibe, or if it might look a little cuter if I just kind of attached it as a dress. So it was like a dress and not two pieces. I like two pieces because I always tell myself I'm gonna wear the skirt separately, but that just like never ends up happening. I only end up wearing the pieces together. So anyways, that's done, which is exciting. The studio is a mess. I'm going to spend a little bit of time cleaning it today, but then I'm going to get started on the second look for New York, which is going to be that modified Clara dress thing that I've made before. All right, so that's good. One thing down, the Maná look for Miami is settled. I'll show you some footage at the end of me wearing it because by the time this video comes out, that concert will have happened. So that's exciting. Hello, fancy running into you here in Bogota, where we are now located. So as you can tell, it's been a few days. What have I done? I've had a very busy work week. Okay, so it's important to understand that, right? I owe everybody so much work. So it took me a few days to get on top of all of that. Basically on top of work. So I fell a little behind with the sewing at the house, but I did finish my look for my Maná, which I'm really excited about. I know I talked about toward the end of that I was going to potentially make it a dress because it just felt a little bit more chic that way than just having the two separate pieces. And I did do that. I made that sort of alteration. It is a little bit big on me on the left side. I think it's just, again, because you put the elastic in and you just never really know if the elastic is going to be tight enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand sew and take it in a little bit, and so that way I could always sort of take that out if I want it to be a little bit bigger. So I'm not going to cut anything. I'm just going to kind of hand sew a little bit and flip to the side and pin it, inside and make it a little more snatched. But that's not something I'm going to do right now because the video is really, really in great shape. It's just that little tiny detail because I'm getting a little nitpicky about it, but that's done. And I also got more ahead with the dress that I'm making for New York. This is the front. And I got pretty much all the way to the elastic part. So I got the elastics in, and I've got the sleeves in. And so all I really have to do is fold this over and iron it down and then put the sleeve or the elastic in, and then the top will be done, and then attach the skirt, like boom. This is gonna be fast, which is exciting. However, I do not have an iron here. I forgot it. I mean, I didn't forget things that were too important in other videos when I'm like sort of going between being in the country and being in the city. I leave things sometimes that are really important, like my pedal for my machine, right? Like things that I'm like, okay, I really can't sew now. So I'm not in that situation. I brought all of the things that I needed. I even have like my serger back there, but no iron. I have a steamer, so I'll use that when I need to, but I might not need it if I can just be really neat about holding this down and use my seam guide, and we'll see. Either way, it's elastic, so it's very giving. I'm not super pressed about it. I also cut out the fabric for the polka dot dress. I have it over there. That seems like a pretty straightforward make as well. I'm using view A from there's 3 views in the pattern, and view A is definitely the easiest one. It doesn't even have like bias, like it doesn't have any of that. It's just an elastic, so it is, I think, gonna be super easy. Again, I don't have an iron, so I'll just have to be really neat about that. But yeah, other than that, it's nice to be in Bogota. We haven't been back in like a month and a half, and you know, it's nice to see our apartment is still in one piece. It's definitely gloomier, rainier here, but I love Bogota. Like I really always have a great time, because there's just a lot to do, right? So yeah, I'm gonna spend the week doing some of my favorite things, going to check out some of my favorite spots, and then I'm gonna be in Ciclovia on Sunday, which is exciting. Ciclovia, I have a video about it on my channel. It's this really big sort of walking day that they do here every weekend. Every Sunday they close down different avenues, things like that. So looking forward to having a peaceful few days of sort of sewing, being back in the city, and then it's travel. So yeah, by the time that we post this video, I think I'll have at least gone to the Maná concert, but also it depends. Maybe I'll have gone to New York. Probably not, but maybe if I did, I'll show you those looks. Regardless, I'll show you the dresses and everything at the end, and maybe I'll go into how I'm styling it a little bit. I'm trying it on before I close up the elastics because I've been burned so many times. But yeah, this is looking good. I have been using a different sleeve pattern, which means that it has more bulk here at the edge because of how it's folded. I don't know. I misplaced the actual sleeve for this and I didn't have time to reprint it. So it has a little bit more fabric, I would say, here, but that's giving it a little structure that I'm not mad about. So I think I'm gonna keep it. I could cut it out, but as of right now, it's giving it a little oomph that I think is cute. I'm gonna put the elastic on the sleeve and then put the skirt on and then be done. Okay, I finished the dress. I have to like kind of give it a wash and a steam. I guess I don't have my iron, but I'm feeling like it's cute. Like it's exactly what I was going for. Just something like kind of casual, wear some tights for a little night out. And I love the material. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's just got this sort of like thickness to it that is really cute. Okay, so feeling good about this. It's done. And I have my next look to sew. Let me show you. All of the pieces here for the picnic set. I'm just doing the dress. So it's really kind of a simple put together, I think, based on the directions. So we'll see how long that takes me, but I'm not really anticipating it taking that long. And I think that then that will be it. Although maybe, I don't know. I'll see. I always try to do more and then end up in a place where I'm stressed. So maybe I'll just call it after this, but I'm gonna put this one together now. It is Monday morning, so I am suffering from a case of the Monday scaries. People think it's Sunday scaries, but it's really early Monday scaries. Okay, I finished the dress, sort of. I haven't actually sewn together the elastic, so it's just sort of like being held together. You can kind of see here, I have to sew the elastic because I had to try it on, and everything does need to be a little bit tighter, so I need to tighten up the elastic for everything. I did try it on, and it is extremely short. So I think originally I was planning to wear this with like really opaque tights, which I don't have, but I ordered to my mom's house, so in Miami. So I might go that route if I'm going out, like, I don't know, a night out or something. I might do like really, really, really dark black tights. But otherwise, like, I don't know, it's really short. But I'm thinking I can actually wear this with jeans. So I'm going to finish this up and style it with jeans and see if that looks good. Because then it looks more like a top. So we'll see.